Hi, everyone. This is Steve Delasan. Thank you for joining this week's edition of CEOs You Should Know. I am sitting with TJ Shaheen, the EVP of Builders General Supply. TJ, thanks for coming in today.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited about this.
We're excited to have you. I had a lot of opportunities to be able to read a little bit about your journey and your background and, of course, the company. And I'm really excited for all of our listeners to be able to dive in a little bit.
Yeah.
So to kick it off, I'd love to start with your personal journey at Builders General, from starting as a teenager in entry-level positions to becoming the EVP that you are today.
Yep. Well, let's get to where we are, and then we'll throw it backwards,
Sounds good.
and we'll just go back in time. So, the executive vice president, fourth generation, family-owned and operated business is our company. We have 7 locations in 4 counties, 170 employees. So we've grown for sure. Now let's spin it backwards to where I came along. Listen, I was the oldest of 4. We lived on a farm back in Locust, New Jersey, and I was home. My mom couldn't handle all the kids, so just go. Listen, take him to work, right? Just take him to work. So that's how I got started in the business. My dad would take me every summer. I would work, and just to get some money, right? When I got to college, so I had money to spend at my discretion in college at each semester. And then, that was the end of it. And I just got stuck, and I've been here ever since.
That's awesome. And probably a lot of benefits, isn't it? The ins and outs of the business like none other,
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
Having a lot of different
Yep.
positions along the way.
Now, listen, I've done every function, every position there for the most part. And right now I'm helping oversee our sales team, our marketing, business development, and also now I'm president of the New Jersey Building Material Dealer Association, which
Awesome.
involves all the lumber yards in New Jersey. So you almost come to a point where you transcend, right?
Mm-hmm.
And over 30 years with my career, I'm starting to feel that now, where I can start to be the guide, right? And really help and be that North Star, right? And help people. And we have good relationships with our employees and our customers, and that's really the secret sauce to our success.
That's awesome. And throughout the tenure, I'm sure you've seen the industry evolve, right? I know you
Mhm.
just mentioned, obviously, working with other organizations too. What role have you played in adapting the company to these changes?
Oh man, I mean, '96. I think the first flip phone came out. I mean, we were just talking about phones off air, about the iPhone and Blackberries, and so you want to talk about evolution. Let's think back to then. I mean, people were using pagers and flip phones, and we got iPads now that people hold up to their ear. The iPhone can't get any bigger than it is, right? So for sure, technology's been a huge evolution, and also, for us, just there's been a lot of consolidation in our market on an industrial level, and then you also have like these big box retailers as well. So you feel that pressure. For sure, but it's the way that we've done it, and a lot of the other independently family-owned businesses in New Jersey. Many of them are competitors, right? But they're also friends. We have relationships there, so we have to defend and protect and have deterrence out there. That's why our association helps with that. So you have to evolve, right? And you have to be like a hedgehog at sometimes,
Yep.
and you have to bury and you just fight through. And as long as you have that grit, passion, and perseverance, you're going to find a way.
Yep. And you just said it, passion. You could tell that you're very
Yeah.
passionate
Yeah,
about the
for
industry,
sure.
right?
Yep.
It came across the second I met you and you
Yep.
started talking about, obviously, the company itself. How do you keep that passion alive after so many years?
You know what? I believe it's either in you or it's not, right? It's got to be a part of your DNA. And this is all I have known, right? I was in college. I stayed over the summertime taking classes, and I went to work for another lumberyard. So it's really all I've known is this business. But when you see, again, I want to talk about, you start to develop a sixth sense, right? And you see what's around you, right? It's not about you. It's about what you can create around you to make your company succeed. Your number one customer is your employee, right? That if you lose that, right? The machine breaks down, you break down,
Yep.
right? So you got to take care of your employees for sure. Customers are like right behind them. You have your suppliers, you have everything in between. So if you can, again, it's focus on those relationships and just drive, right? You just got to have a will to drive. It's got to be in your DNA for me, at least, in my opinion. And that's, I think, at this point, that's what's gotten us, or me anyway, to where I am today.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Passion is probably one of the most important things about anyone's job, right? You have to love
Yep.
what you do.
Yep,
So
for sure.
it's awesome to see that
Yep.
that flame is still going very
Yep.
strong.
Yep.
As a fourth generation leader in your family's business, what values and lessons have been passed down through the generations that help shape the company's culture and mission?
So Listen, my great-grandfather started this business in 1931. My grandfather came along. He passed away when I was 4. And then my dad and my uncle, I learned under their tutelage, right? And that's all been passed down from generation to generation. Number one, nothing is given. Everything is earned, right? Even though I was, the boss's son, whatever you want to call it, I was out there. I was grinding, and people saw that. So I do believe that that's one of the biggest things is just making sure that you know the value of a dollar, right? I said before, I went home on summers to work so I could have money in my pocket so I can hang out with my friends at my discretion, during semesters at school. Now, after that, my mom said, you're out the house after 18. That's it, right? It's not like today, right? So, and that's what I did. So I graduated. I went and started living on my own. But again, you learned the value of a dollar. You learned that responsibility, and that was your framework, and that helped me get to where I am today. And just having that discipline and really just making sure that you knew what you had in front of you, but you had to earn it. It was almost like being 2 inches away from the water bowl, but being chained to like the doorknob. You're like, So yeah, that's what I believe anyway. So
no, that's awesome. One of probably the most important things as a leader is always trying to improve, right? And making sure that your team and the company that you're representing are constantly improving throughout the way. So at Builders General, how do you encourage a culture of growth and learning for your staff?
It starts with a career path. Okay, if you're coming into Builders General day one, here's a career path, right? Maybe college isn't for you. Maybe something didn't work out, but here's a job, here's benefits. That's huge in this day and age, just to have that, just to have a start, something to just get you down that lane and be able to go around that track a million times, right? But after that, those employees are seeing our other employees. Now, our roster, over 60% have been with us for 5 years or longer. And I'm sure that's grown a little bit by now. And then after that, we have 20, 30, 40-year members on our roster. Those are the mentors, right? They see when I'm starting at Builders General as a new start, they can see and look up to these other employees that have been there forever. So that's something, it becomes contagious, and it just has to repeat itself, and it has. So when you have a tenured roster like that, like I said, the machine breaks down, you break down, we break down, right? That's it. It's over. But to have that backing behind you is huge. So that's what I feel is really one of the secrets to our success. Is just being able to have people knowing what they're doing. It becomes contagious. You learn from somebody else, and your customers see that. They get to know that person because they're not in and out. Mm-hmm. It's not a transactional relationship. There's emotionality behind it, and we care. We're a family-owned business. We're involved on day-to-day operations. It's not see you later. We're there, and they see that, and it goes from the top all the way down. And I think that's helped us a lot for sure.
Awesome. Speaking of growth, you guys currently have expanded to 7 locations. Yep. I found out one's actually in my hometown of Edison. So as you guys are continuing to expand, how have you been able to maintain that level of quality and have consistency across all the different locations?
I ran the Edison yard for a long time. It was a great spot, and some great customers there that have been with me for life. But one of the things with expansion is you have to be careful, right? Because the minute your secret sauce becomes diluted because you're just looking 10 miles down the road and forgetting like what's right in front of you, you're going the wrong way. And that's going to have ramifications that hopefully you're able to realize that. And again, I think because of our legacy as a Shaheen family, we've always been able to kind of, bend and not break, be really flexible, identify certain things where there's opportunities, certain things that maybe you took a chance on, didn't work, right? Okay, that's fine. You got to do something, right? You just can't sit idle. So sure, there's been things that we tried, didn't work, some things we have, and it's been successful. But at the end of the day, once things settle down, you need to make sure that culture is there. And again, I have to go back to the roster while I'm thinking about this because all of our locations are managed by people that are friends. They get it, and they've been with us for a really long time. So it makes it easy, right? But now all of a sudden you say, oh, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy that, and buy that. It becomes diluted. You're just transactional. And I can tell you one thing. One of my customers said to us, he goes, listen, the thing I like about Builders General is that I got a problem I can call Mr. TJ, right?
Yep.
I go, all right. So who else would you go? I'm not calling Mr. Big Box Store because no one's going to pick up for me. So I think knowing that you have managers in those locations, the employees see it. It is top down, bottom up, and that culture is that heartbeat of your company. The moment, like I said, the moment you go way too big, you got to be careful what you wish for because you're going to fall hard.
Yeah.
So
It's a great segue to the next question, right? So, being a family-owned business, obviously, which I love, there's probably a lot of advantages, but then there's probably also some challenges when you go up against some bigger corporations, right? What are some of those advantages of being family-owned, and what are some of the challenges?
So I think being family owned is great because there is consolidation out there, right? But if you have something that's been working for you again, and you have alignment with other businesses that are in your industry that are in the same category as you, I think that helps, right? I think that helps a lot, and I also think that you just got to keep everything around you. Have a sixth sense and be aware of everything that's going on. Because if you don't, but again, I'll go back to what I was saying. Because you're attached to your company, right? You're not checked out. You're attached to your employees. You're attached to your customers. And as long as you have that arena, right, where you got, your arena is sold out and standing room only, and you're the hottest ticket in town, they want to stay with you, then you got it, right? And you got to keep repeating that. So I don't know. That's what I think.
No, that's awesome. You could tell that obviously something you're very passionate about.
Yeah.
And something else that's really come through is how much you value your team. And
Yeah.
we talked about the growth aspect of making sure the employees see those growth journeys as well. How do you encourage also collaboration and teamwork as an essential part of the company?
So collaboration happens very easily, right? If you and I have been sitting across from each other for 5 years, 3
Yep.
years, right? But if you're in and someone else is coming in and then you're out and someone else, you can't, because there's no trust, right? You have to have trust. Trust doesn't happen when you walk in the door with me, right? Trust happens over time. It's
Yep.
not, you cannot flip a switch. You have to earn it. We go back to the thing I said before, earning it. That was part of our, DNA. But now it goes to this, right? So for collaboration, if my team members know each other and the people that are under them are looking up to them, it's very easy to collaborate when everybody's been there for a really long time and they all get each other. They know it's almost like it just kind of works by itself. But if I got people coming in and out, there's a lot of turnover, then nobody wants to work there. You can't collaborate, and basically you're just transactional. You're just banging a register. Nobody cares, and that's not who we are. We care, and we want to be emotional.
Yep, and trust, like you said,
Yeah,
is one of
trust.
the most
You
important
have
parts
to
of any
earn
team.
that. It takes
Yep.
forever to earn it, and the moment you break it, you're dead. But you got to build it, and you get so much reward out of that because your customers call you. Have customers call me like, "Hey, I need help." They're calling me because we have trust. We have a relationship,
100%.
and it's built over time. You can collaborate when you have a relationship, when you have trust.
As the construction industry continues to evolve, what new opportunities or challenges does Builders General anticipate, and what is the company doing to address them?
Well, I think it's listen. I could tell you one thing. We got our hands full with just like natural, disasters. You want to go back to the pandemic. You want to go back to Superstorm Sandy. You want to talk about the financial crisis. That affects us all, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we are a small business, family owned and operated. But you know what? There are challenges out there, and I think that over our 93 years of being in business, we've seen a lot. But there's always something new to throw. But if you just go back to your morals and your ethics and your values as a person, which transcends into your company, you're able to deal with stuff that's thrown at you. As far as challenges, what we see down the road, we have geopolitical stuff that affects us. We got an election that's coming up that could affect us. Interest rates are sitting on the sidelines right now. Nobody wants to dump a 2% 30-year mortgage, so they got handcuffed. So that's affecting us as well with the economy. So yeah, there's all these different challenges. And by the way, you got this over here, you got that over there. So there's high level stuff that affect our small businesses in New Jersey. There's natural stuff that affects our business, and you just got to be prepared for everything. And but you cannot lose sight of your customer and your employees, because that's the glue, right? And the moment that gets overheated, everything gets melted, nasty, and sticky.
Yeah, no, 100%. So looking ahead, what are some of the future goals for the company? What are you guys planning for the years ahead?
There's a few things for sure, but again, I just have to go back to, for us with our goals, you got to take. New Jersey is the densest state in the union, right? We have over 10 million people here. We're in a high demand market. People want stuff now, not tomorrow. So we saw this stuff with the supply chain. That's through stuff out like months and months and months. And we have people building homes that are secondary homes on the Jersey Shore. So our goal really for us is, again, we have higher level things, but our immediate goals, it's what matters most to us, because that's transactional. It's backed with emotionality. And people keep repeating that. So when you have your relationships with your customers, they're going to continue to buy. And again, we're in a fortunate spot where we are. in the counties that we serve, with Monmouth County, Middlesex County, Ocean County, Warren County, because these are high demand markets. So that business, everyone's going to want to renew, refresh, and renovate, right? They all want that. And especially right now with the way things have been, again, nobody wants to dump their home, so they're looking to put money in their home. We can tuck and roll all day long. And again, for family business of ours, I think it's just important right now. You just got to keep doing what you're doing. Sometimes that's just okay.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure. 100%. If one of our listeners are those individuals right now that are trying to find out more information about Builders General, what's the easiest way for them to do so?
So we're on LinkedIn, Instagram, buildersgeneral.com. And listen, tj.shaheen at buildersgeneral.com. I'll even give my cell phone number, 732-513-6413. Hit me up. We're not afraid. This is what small businesses do. This is what we do, and we're fighting every day. We're grinding every day. And if you don't have that grit, passion, and perseverance, then you know what? Maybe this isn't for you, but for us, it is.
That's awesome. As we wrap up, what's a final message or piece of advice you want to share to our listeners if they're an inspiring entrepreneur?
You need to envision an arena, okay? And you want to sell out your arena, okay? And you want to do it every night, like Madison Square Garden, right down the street, right? Every night, sell out your arena, but make it so it's standing room only, and make them love you. Make sure they're coming back, and you get those fannies in the seats every night. Then you have it, right? But it's constant, right? You got to constantly focus, because the moment you lose your focus, you got an empty arena, and that's not good, right? But just focus on selling out every tier in your arena, and you'll be okay.
Awesome. Well, TJ, thank you so much for coming in. It was an absolute pleasure sitting down with you, hearing about your story. It's very inspiring, and I'm excited to see and watch what's next.
Absolutely. This is very exciting for me and our family business, and I appreciate the time and the opportunity. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for listening. Tune in next week for next week's edition of CEOs You Should Know.